What is going on, people? The few people who have shown up so far. Oh, I have to turn my desktop on or you can't see anything. How are we supposed to program if you can't see anything? Answer me that. Let's see what happens if I turn on desktop. Which one do we get? The wrong one. Oh, whoops. All right. I might restart the stream just to make this easy on myself because we're still, well, let me see. Still the wrong one. Add display capture of that one. Okay. Never mind. We won't restart the stream. Long sleepless nights. Why? Why would you do that? The display captures in front of the webcam. Oh no. People won't see me. That's so bad. All right. So last couple days ago, last time we were working on this, we were messing with the movement code and it is screwed up in some basic ways. So for example, me and the stone are slowly sliding off these lily pads. After thinking about it, I think I know what the problem is, but you'll see this is exaggerated as we speed up. So clearly that has to get fixed, but I think I know what the problem is. Wait, what happens to the... See, I don't know what to do about that. The sun direction on a wrapping level causes the specular to change discontinuously when an object wraps. I don't know what to do about that. I mean, unless it's directly overhead, it's going to do that. Or no, I guess it's fine. We just have to render it with the right transforms, actually. That's all. That's all. You hate bugs like this because it makes it seem like the fact that things like this can happen makes the system not robust even when the problems aren't happening. Well, sort of. In this case, not really, because if I'm right about what the problem is, it's actually a very simple problem. But I know what you're saying. There are classes of things that are like that for sure. I have to write down, send an email about okay. So let's fix this. And I think I know, as I said, what the problem is. That's not even remotely the only problem. But we might end up radically restructuring this. But anyway. So we made this update entity support phase when we go and figure out which supports are valid. And, we early out here. And the thing is, we call that after we do this. And when an interpolation completes, it sets its start time to -1. So on the last frame that something moves, it'll move. Its movement will complete. It'll set it to -1. And that last time step of movement will never get uptaken by this. So what we need to do, it's actually very simple. We need to be more serious about the transaction. Like, what we need to do is say, okay, everything that moves in this phase has to get handled in the support phase. So these predicates for who is handled in the support phase, they need to get evaluated here before anything happens. Right? So and then we do this. So we decide beforehand who has to move. We move all the base interpolations, and then we get the supported guys after this. So we go, whoops, this one. All right. I wonder if okay. Well, hello, Raider people. Oakland Raiders. Oakland Raiders. What if you have two nested for loops? What is the name of it? It's just like any redeclared variable in an inner scope. So you get the inner one. All right. It looks like they're sticking better. There is some small chance that we might have math error, like least significant bit kind of error, but wow, look at our fucking camera parameters, man. It's all over the place. All right, well, they're definitely staying on the lily pad. What age is too late to get into programming? Never, as long as you're going to be good. So you might say, oh, if you're past your 20s, it's late. But like most of these 20-year-old people are just basically ignorant at this point. And what they're learning is programming is not very good and not very skilled. So if you do a good job of learning and you learn the right stuff, you can learn in 1 year what it takes people 10 years to learn or more. It's really not hard, honestly. Okay, so now that's, of course, a problem. Why did that happen? Yeah, there are a huge number of job candidates that are completely clueless. So then, how bad are the people who actually get hired? You know what I'm saying? All right. So I feel like the player control leaves a lot to be desired. So we're going to have to look at that. Like, I'm not even sure what this code is doing. We didn't really look at it last time. So we'll look at it this time. See what the hell is going on. Yep. What Technic Beam said is right. People program by guessing or by reading Stack Exchange. That is seriously what happens. And it isn't good. What happened there? All right. Like, how come? I'm trying to figure out what timing causes it to be really messed up. Like, what even causes that? Why am I not? There we go. I see. Okay. So when you do like a stationary interpolation like this, it actually, it like uses your position as the destination, which you don't want because your physical position is whatever. So really, we want, because that might change as we continue to modify the system, what we want is to have a special routine that says we're putting a stationary move on this guy. Stationary moves in this system, you know, they're just a way of eating time before other moves can happen. I'm not even sure if that particular thing should remain a stationary move, but for now it is. And we shouldn't change everything at once. All right. So I'm just going to look at all the places that say move entity with stationary. And really, like, I don't think we should be calling move entity at all anymore. In those cases, I think we just call like add stationary. Let's just call B. Let's have something called B stationary. And then whatever needs to happen with the position can happen. But like then, why is the guy moving? What happens when we call... well, we, in theory, don't do anything. But I'm not sure what move entity does in that case. So let's just not do it. Let's... although move entity probably makes a new transaction. Yeah. Do we need a transaction ID? Let's just pass it anyway. Whoops. I meant for this to go there. And this can say E old position, new position, move type, duration, transaction ID. All right, great. Great. So be stationary just does this for now. Okay. Let's just see if we have any compile errors so far. We do. Opposition. All right. So we'll continue. We go to Sokoban. Mover, duration, transaction ID. Okay, see what happens with that. That may not really fix anything, but now at least, well, it may make things worse actually, but it may fix things. Because we're not going, oh, let's fix this. We want to go to our Lily test. We want to not forget that level because we need to fix that one too, but. Oh, up. All right. Well, it didn't make it a lot better because, yeah. So what I'm not sure about is why am I not just also getting carried? Like, why is this changing my position? Like, there must be some code doing that, man. And like, why am I going left? So weird. Why am I going left? It doesn't make sense. So this is good though, because, well, okay, let's make sure, because this behavior is exactly the same, let's make sure that we got the case when we're blocked, right? Where is that? Do blocked animation. Since the behavior is exactly the same, either we didn't change the code correctly, or the behavior exhibits even from our new change, right? I mean, we can always set a breakpoint inside be stationary to make sure that we're calling it. But first, let's review again. Maybe there's something when we complete. Let's take a look real slow at what's happening. Maybe when we complete a visual interpolation, we snap to the position, which would not be good. It doesn't look like a snap, though. Well, that wasn't a stationary, never mind. It just looks like we're being updated every frame to stay there. Which I don't understand. Just review. We get the visual position before the frame. Get rid of this for now. No, I'll leave that. We might need that. Who are we kidding? Okay, I don't see anything there. So let's look down at update visual position. If it's a teleport, we do this stuff. We need to get rid of falling transaction hold. That was a thing from the old system, but we won't do that yet. Okay, yeah. If we're stationary, we frickin' do this. If it's an object. All right, so which used to make sense, but doesn't anymore. And we have to do that for update guy position as well. Okay. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. So for stationary, we'll just go into this bottom one. For teleports, we're up here. Okay. See what happens with that. Hey, look. I'm riding on the lily pad. Even though I'm hammering the left arrow. That's great. Certainly better than where we were. I'm like kicking, it's like I'm skateboarding. Wait, I have to do it this way, see? I'm just kicking us along. Like I'm making us go here. Okay, that was bad. So the vertical motion doesn't do the right thing. But I know what that's about. So the problem is well, we have to look at the update guide position code, but certainly there are several things it's confused about. So we'll just do a general audit first to look for anything super flaky, and then we'll look seriously at it. So that works though. Okay, except for that. We have a crash for some reason, but let's not even worry about it yet. Did the flowing water animation change? It looks like it did, but that's not the real water animation. Let me look up, I'll show you guys what we're working on for water. This is a secret showing for only the followers of the Twitch channel, actually. Just like everything else. Like we haven't actually announced this game. Here's what we're working on for water. And if you're a subscriber on the Elite Sub Text Lounge, then you can even see this very special things that nobody else can see. I swear. All right. This is what it's not totally right yet. This is like V1. We're going to do several more things, but we have like a fluid simulator happening and generating waves and stuff. So the idea is, we don't do it yet, but the idea is like when I push a stone, it'll put input into the fluid simulator and all that. So, yeah, we'll get there. So right there you could see, like when I push this, if you guys saw the stream where I was drawing the little circles in the water, that has now morphed into this, which looks a little better. We still need to do more stuff with that, but you know. And of course, that's still a little cheesy, and we need to work on it. But, you know, the idea is that you'll see more of this, you know, normal mapped sort of geometry of the water. So as you get like a flow going forward, you'll see more of that. You know what I'm saying, hopefully. I don't know why that lily pad was giving me so much trouble, though. Let's try riding on that. Who is making these wonderful graphics? Everyone on the team who is not me. Like, why is my guy... It's pretty weird how he's way off to the side, but maybe that's how this guy's animated. So, you know, the lily pad stepping square by square is... really doesn't match the water at this point. So we will change that as well. Let's see. You know, so you can see the color changes, like the, you know, that flow is gone, so etc. It just, you know, at some point it's going to look like a game with actual graphics. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, let's go back to what we were doing. So yeah, this is not the real water, is all I'm saying. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? This is just what we're working with until we could turn on the real water everywhere. You're right, we could have just used the Rust water crate. What a brilliant idea. All right, anyway. So let's just take a look at the code. Because I have a feeling it's... Okay, moving on to ID. See, we're kind of trying to be smart about this. And maybe we just shouldn't do that. I feel like... So this is like, hey, if I'm walking onto a lily pad and it's moving, then my interpolation should move. But like, I guess support motion should take care of that. I need to think about it. Let's just see what happens when we comment this out. And the reason I'm a little bit worried is it's sort of a different situation between if you're riding on a raft of stuff versus just stepping onto or off of it. Different. Okay, well, still messed up. So maybe that's not what was causing the problem. I missed it. Anyway, we're gonna keep this commented out, I think, to keep the code simple so that we can understand what's happening. So this is if we're falling and yeah. Okay. So then this is like when we're walking around. And we don't even need to do this anymore. Because our sim now does this, so I don't even. Hold on. What delta are you talking about? Okay, so this here is not a wrapped delta. So that's already wrong. That's probably why he like jogs across the screen. Are we redeclaring delta? Is that what happens? Yeah. So we need just an open curly brace. And is that new delta? All right. Oh, we have manager. Undeclared identifier. Oh, we don't have manager. Oh, yeah. I want it to be grid-like. Okay. That's not really going to fix very much. We're just getting there. Okay. So I don't totally understand. We should be adding axis aligned. Oh no, because we've got like velocity. Yeah, we might need to do something here. Do I change the coordinate system relative to the lily pad? I do not currently. We might do that eventually. Like for handling, especially if you're going to walk around on stuff that rotates or whatever, it kind of would make sense to do that. But we should be able to work without that. Like, what the fuck happened there? Okay, so here's what's happening. As the guy moves north and south, you'll notice he ends up in the middle of the square, the actual background grid square. And then the reason he ends up in the wrong place on the lily pad is that he's like also being carried. See that? He stopped. Oh, I don't know why he popped so much there, but anyway. So he walks to the middle of the grid square. So that's a little bit of a problem. Now that moving on to ID thing that we did should probably, in theory, fix that, but then it was still messed up when we turned that on. So I don't know. Well, we put the wrap deltas in, so let's try with that and with these being visual. All right. See what happens there. Because if the thing is trying to drive the world space physical position, I could see it like overshooting. Okay, well that was weird. I don't know why we went 2 squares. That was a thing that was happening before too. Yeah, so we have this thing where we're normally good, but sometimes we freak out and go 2 squares, which I think is a totally different bug. I think it happens, I think it's based on timing somehow. But this is, aside from that, this is pretty good now. I mean, it's probably going to need some other robustness measures, but like, look, I'm like walking around on the frickin' lily pads, all right, which is not something I've ever been able to do. I just don't know why it's freaking out and doing a double. But that's, you know, when there's like 3 or 4 bugs at once, that's when things are hard to debug because you can't make sense of what's happening, right? Now that we've gotten rid of most of them, yeah, there's something going on with, like the guy goes really fast across 2. Oh, okay, I know what it is. I know what it is. It's when you're crossing the boundary here. And the reason it's going fast is because, see that? It's because it's picking world space coordinates. There's a distance instead of a wrapped distance somewhere. See that? So it's picking world space coordinates on 2 sides of the map horizontally, and it's saying, oh my God, that's a really far distance and we have to cover it in this small amount of time. And that's freaking it out. So let's fix that. Yeah. See, we're doing this because we're dot producting. Yeah. Interp.visual ends. So let's do this up here because that's delta. See, and these are different deltas, which is weird. Let's use this one, like... Am I the only programmer in this code base? No. There's at least one other programmer working directly on the game. Well, and there's... Oh, see, it's still freaking out a little bit. That's weird. Okay, dot product delta comma dir. Oh, you know what? This is not right, actually. We want to use the original dir. Desired velocity is the unit vector times the run speed times interp speed scale. Where's run speed coming from? Current speed is not used. Run speed is get run speed. Okay. Something is whack here, dude. I don't really see the opportunity for this to freak out. Because, okay, if for some reason our delta got long, which it shouldn't, well, this is clamped to 0 to 1. This doesn't care about distance at all, this thing. So we might just have to, like, break in there. Well, okay, here's what we say. Let's just see if that prints. If that prints out, we have a place to set a breakpoint. Because regardless of how that's causing us to freak out, we should never have a distance of more than 1 square. Okay, that didn't, or did it? It didn't print it. Whoa, he just popped. Whoops. Why are our lily pads just not ever moving? Whoa. That just like canceled our move for some reason. There's probably some code in that cancels our move if it feels like something really bad is happening. Boom. The reason I'm saying it canceled our move is because that window went away. So I want to know who does that. Or, I believe when we reset, it stores the location. So I could just look at the last reset. All right. So I'm a little bit edified that that didn't happen because it didn't look to me like it should happen. All right. So, okay. We, at the calling location, said that all of these should not do anything. Let's just do this. Assert terp.move type is equal to move type dot linear move. Okay. We'll do that up here. Just cleaning this up. Oh, geez. This test for deceleration. Okay, let me just audit the rest of this before we go like debugging. Got Excel time. Like, why are we doing this? Wrap to grid. There we go. Okay. Let's even Okay, so they're both within valid range. Just giving it a little bit of a cleanup, that's all. Manager. Wait, we have manager. Oh, that's proximity grid. Oh. This is wrap delta, not distance. Wait. All right. I'm just typing stuff, people. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. It still happens. Just the same. So we're going to have to debug it. That's weird. We're doing okay for the most part, though. Who would do that? Who would reset our interpolation? Yeah, so here we take a location parameter and we put it there. So problem is, well, we can hopefully, all right. The problem is this might be happening for lily pads and stuff, but we'll just try to look for the last one. The thing is we don't take an entity type, so it's like hard. Yeah, see, we're getting a lot. All right, so we're going to go. Okay. Line 286. They're all line 286. Maybe that doesn't help. Okay. Why is it completed? All right. Let's just say well, so we're going to slow way down and we're going to try to figure out why. Oh, let's make a, we're going to run in the debugger and we're going to try to figure out why we're setting done, because I think we're setting done on that. Oh, but of course the question is, I mean, I guess we'll at least have an opportunity to call that, even though I don't really know what that's going to tell us. Okay. So, oh shoot. I totally didn't even open the file. Okay, we haven't popped yet. Let's see if I got the timing right. There we go. Visual start, visual end. I feel like we updated the visual end when the lily pad moved across. Let's see. So it's not due to elapsed time. Okay, we're calling update guy position. That's good because that's what we expected. So I feel like what happens is the lily pad's visual position wraps around the invisible border, and that makes our visual end change discontinuously. Now the theory is, though, that shouldn't really matter, but it could. All right, let's see, delta. Yeah, it's basically straight down with a little bit of X, which is totally reasonable. And then this delta is 0. Oh, fudge. Okay. Hold on. The problem is it's 0 because we completed our interpolation, I think. Or maybe not. Let's go back. Yeah, let's set this to whatever it was. Beforehand. So we stash the old thing. Right, we have VP before, right? So interp VP before frame is this. And then guy undoable data.visual position. Is this even on undoable data? Yeah. Okay. So we have to set this back to what it was. So X is 9. Y is 3, 5. C is 0. Okay. So now we get this delta. Okay, it's about a half a square to the south, which still makes sense. Sign distance should be about half a square. Yep, this is all working correctly. What's the velocity? That looks fast. Although not, I mean, a third of a second to go 1 square is not teleporting speed, so maybe I'm not that worried about that. What's run speed? Yeah, that's run speed exactly, so that's fine. Desired velocity should be reasonable. Accel time 0.4 dV. It's a very small value. Of course, our velocity is maybe not the same as it was last time, but probably it is, because it's probably equal to desired velocity because it's clamped. Yeah. So we're accelerating, but we're at max speed. Right, so dx is going south slightly, exactly like we expect. Oh God! Why didn't I even read the code? Dude, we're doing more of this non-wrapped deltas right here. What? Why didn't I see this? My brain was just blind. We can't do that. We can't do that. Oh my God. See, look at the code before you debug, because often, yeah. All right. So, new delta this is backwards, I think. Yeah. All right, so wrapping levels, man. All these problems are due to wrapping levels. Good thing we're testing on one. All right. Okay, well, I screwed it up. Maybe it wasn't backwards. What is the old delta? Oh. So what I was telling myself today, because it's been a bummer that we couldn't even walk around on lily pads, not even for the most recent rewrite, but like for the whole history of this game, we have never been able to do what we are doing right now. Which in principle was not rocket science, but it just, you know, doing it in a movement system where everything works was hard. Who knows, we might have broken some other things, but hopefully we didn't. So as tonight goes on, what we're going to do is continue to clean up this movement code and refactor it, because what we even have right now can be like less simple, or more simple, sorry. But I told myself that I would celebrate when I could do this by designing a level for this that would be like real cool. So that's what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to design a level that involves walking around on a lily pad a little bit, or on a raft of lily pads. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but you know. So let's do that. Let me warm up some tea and we'll do that. And then the other thing we might do tonight, if we get the code all cleaned up, is to make the lilies not move, stop like this, but we might just make them move smoothly. Why did the character shadow disappear? It happens when they wrap, and again, it's just that the shadow system doesn't understand wrapping levels very well. It's not that big of a deal. It's just we haven't bothered to fix it. What is the behavior supposed to be when you push the skipping rock back and forth? You mean like this? So far it's been probably mostly fine. Here it'll probably be buggy. I'll probably knock this lily pad into the next one, and that crash might still be there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's probably the lily solver infinite looping. We're not supposed to be able to do that. So that's just a thing that we have to fix. Anyway. Back in a bit. What happens if the lily pads float under a rock? Does it push the player off of them into the water? It couldn't be a rock, but it could be a thing in the air, and indeed that should push the player off. So like, and let's see, and that's kind of why we had this thing here actually. So, you know, this is not in the water, but it's one square above. Let's put this down here, right? So if I'm here, I should get, oh, it's blocking the lily actually, right? So some things we assume are full height and other things aren't. So this one is full height, but I think there are things we can do that won't block the lily. Like, I'm not actually sure, but like if we do, hold on, not that one. If we do a side bagger, I don't know if this works. Let's see. Oh, whoops! What? We still got our. Why does that still have a wall? We didn't save the... Now we have a serious problem where our level is fucking not saved correctly for some reason. All right, so let's do that. We'll save. Gonna delete that. We're gonna save. Why? Somebody messed with something, or my source control is not up to, I don't know. Now we have a problem. We can't design levels while this is happening. Just when you think you get to make a video game, so we've got like unversioned items, which we shouldn't have. I don't know why that was happening. Somebody might have modified some code that's downstream of something that screws that up. Or I don't know. Let's see if it keeps happening. Okay, so we've got this. I just wanted to try this, which I don't even know if this is going to work. What did we determine? We determined that this would work, actually, last time. So we have a thing here, and it's going to hold up a rock. So that, I believe, will stop the player, but the lily will go under. No. Oh, because the lily's carrying the rock. Well, that shouldn't happen because the grate should, yeah. So we're not correctly testing if there's a grate there, because this is just such a weird thing. I don't know, man. Anyway, oh, I know how to do it. Here, we'll do this since we're playing Bizarro Experiment Day. This guy's going to be there. The wall's going to be one higher. And this guy's going to be standing on this. So that way the lily will go under and the guy won't. Why are my objects not deleted? What the fuck is going on, dude? I'm not going to be able to work this way. Let's see if we're going to have to update our game. We might have to reboot our computer. Look at all this. What is going on? Just when you think you get to make a video game. All right. Okay, the source control commands just aren't working. Let's see if the repository is in an okay. Okay, this is the problem, is we were in needing a cleanup for some reason. And we should tell you if we're in that state, because source control commands all fail, but we don't actually tell you right now because it doesn't ever happen. Except that when it does happen, it confuses the hell out of me. Okay, one more time. We're going to get a rock and a hard place. We're putting the guy on the rock. We're putting this. Yeah, that's all we're doing. This is all. Okay. Well, I don't know what that assertion is. Well, he's not getting carried anyway because we broke the movement code. Whatever. We're going to make all this work just like it used to. Oh, we're not. Yeah, see, because our support movement code is new, we punted on certain things. And one of those things is that we don't sort entities by in the correct order of who they're standing on. It's luck if there's more than one layer of support. So we have to fix that. Never mind, man. We've got so much to do. But I'm still going to design a level because I said I would. So we got to still do multi-layer support. Not really that hard, but we have to do it. All right. Let me pour my tea. This is the last bag of mango spice tea. Rip. Is this what you work on as a day job, or do you do other work? This is one of the several things I work on as a day job. Seven-month streak. 7-month streak. Okay. What? We're going to do a level, and because we cleared the subversion problem, we're going to hope that is not a recurring problem. We're going to hope that's just something that happened. Yeah, okay, this is fine though. We just won't do this. It's going to be a one-level situation. Oh, let's say save as raft, I don't know. So what? What's a good idea for a level? One might be, like, I feel like there's a bunch of raft levels, but one might be, I think we're going to want bigger level by a lot. Because we're going to want space to like do stuff. We're going to have a bunch of related levels. So yeah, oh yeah, we're going to be, yeah, okay. Okay, big level. And then we're just going to, not really going to copy everything, but all these things can go out to the middle of the level. Actually, we'll have a little bit of impetus. I guess we want, let's for now just have enough to set these all going one way, but not dictate what's happening with the water at other times. Because, I don't know, we might want to play with that. Okay. So this then, actually, we could have a slightly smaller ocean. Because I want to be able to see the wrapping a little bit. He's the DJ, I'm the rapper. So we're going to do that. Go save. I got to put that in my drafts. Okay. So we've just got this situation where right now we'll go and these parts will crash and then that'll keep going. I don't know. That's just what we did. So here's one thing that I'm thinking is we want to be able to get a rock to this guy so he could push it off the lily pad in the right way. And actually, we really only need Actually, you know what? I was thinking of doing a multi-person level, but let's just even start. Let's start real simple. Okay. Let's just have a horizontal. because this is kind of interesting, right? Because I could push this way, but then like I could stop my car by pushing it that way. See what I mean? And then the question is, should I be able to start it up completely by going that way? Because it doesn't right now, because my lily will hit the back ones. I sort of feel like maybe this should push the whole row of lilies, right? Maybe I don't want to make a level that requires a new mechanic like that. How come the lilies stop when the rock hits the front? Because the other ones try to move and they hit the stopped one. And if it stops them, it should start them. Well, it will start one. It'll start a lone one, right? But yeah, it's true. Like one stopped lily, because a rock hits it, stops the other stopped lilies. But they don't currently start in that way. That might mess up the original game. I don't know. I need to think about that, because that is a breaking change that may mess with the original game. So let's not make that the idea of this level right now, even though it could potentially be a neat idea. I'm sort of feeling like okay. Here's what I'm feeling like. We're going to start simple and make it more bananas. We're going to have a whole like wrapping continent up here. It's like the Earth. It's like the flat Earth, where you can go all the way around the flat Earth on this side. Move there. All right. And we're going to have guy. Okay, well, we've got to have our other flat Earth down here. Okay. And there's going to be like a magic mirror. And a thief. Thief can pull the rock, but can't send it skittering across to the guy. Thief can pull the mirror, right? Oh. Because I kind of want the rock to have to, use this as the waypoint. It's going to be 3 characters. The third one's going to be like the priest. And so I want it to be oh no, because if you can see, I wanted it to be that this guy has to push the rock from the raft down here. But the problem with that is if you can get the rock down using the mirror, you can get the guy up using the mirror. So that conceit is not going to work very well. And the point of that is if this guy can get up here, then when this raft isn't in place, he could just push this however he wants. Unless, okay. Okay, here's where we get kind of funny. So first of all, we have to make this a mirrorable rock. Bam. All right. Now, if this guy can get up here and push this rock, actually, you know, then he could just push it. That is true if and only if this is on water level. If it's higher than water level and you push it, then, well, I'll show you what happens. Well, if it's higher than water level, you can't push it anyway because you can't go back. Now the mirror is a one-way thing, and that's interesting by itself. So like, here's what we do is, you know, we wait until there and we drop the thing. Okay. So that's kind of interesting. And because we dropped it in the middle, it's not so bad. Now, the thing that I was thinking of was, right, yeah. So the thing I was thinking was, let's make it challenging to drop something on the middle of the raft, right? So it would be that, actually, if we just sort of move these up here, right? And like we put the mirror, well, let's put the mirror there. The thief will not be able to drag the mirror further south yet. Oh, this is going to be kind of cool, actually. Okay, so I think it's still, we're still one, yeah, we're still in the middle. Oops. We gotta put this there. Let's make sure I can run around. If I drop that, oh, you know, so this is a little bit messed up because it's like, how does the fighter get away? Maybe he just stays on his lily pad somehow. So once I do this, I could pull this, but now I'm stuck. I need to get back up on my wall, and there's no way ever to do that, right? But, oh, we gotta, okay, our support stuff doesn't get stored in undo. We gotta fix that. Okay, but the idea being, hey, I can't, let me move the camera a little more, because I want to give the thief more room to maneuver so it doesn't feel totally lame. But the idea being, you know, whatever. There's space back there. But none out here. Will this, I think I can just mount this on. Right. Actually, you know, oh, that's messed up. Why am I? Oh, because it's playing that anime. Okay. We're going to have to think about how that works. But okay, instead of making it a 3-character thing, maybe it's just a 2-character thing. Maybe it's just like, okay, maybe my exit isn't on my lily pad, but it's maybe I just need to push a rock south in the right place. How would I do that? Yeah, so I could have here, instead of this whole situation, bye, sorry, but we don't need you. Could have something like this. So like, I can't get there. I want to get there, but I can't. But there's a thing. And here, there's a little skipping stone. Right? So I can't get there. Let's put these slightly different colors because we like to do that. Whoa, why do I have so damn many stash colors? And what do you... All right. So... So the whole point of this level is the following. I want to get out on the south. I can't. Okay. So what do I do? Well, if you didn't know what to do, you might like do that. And then that'll stop my lily pad. But that doesn't really... Oh, you know, it's just, yeah, by going this way, we have to like limit the amount that you can go this way. Maybe that's fine. The top doesn't really need to be wrapping. It was just fun. Or, yeah, it shouldn't be wrapping. So the objective that I'm thinking of is that the furthest out that I could get a rock is here in the top row. And that would mean that you drop one in the top row and like kick it back that way. You see what I'm saying? And you do that twice. Like if I did that. Okay, that doesn't help me in any obvious way, but if I do it again... This is a little bit slow, so maybe we shouldn't make the level as wide. If I do it again, then watch what happens. Then the thief here can pull this one further south than he could before. And then teleport, right? And then, oh, except of course the problem is we need to get the rock on the bottom line. It's like, oh, I got the mirror one closer. Whoops. I got the mirror one closer, which means I could drop a rock in the middle of this raft, which means I could push it south, which means I could knock it against that rock, right? Okay, all that is true. But I need to get this stone into the bottom line, which I don't know how to do. Because I could do it by using this. Let me see. Oh no, I do it like this, right? So I do that, then I do that. That's fine. So I get the stone into the bottom line, and then I get the mirror into the bottom line. Whoops. And then I don't screw it up. Don't screw it up. And okay, so we say that's the furthest. And now we can drop this into the middle of the raft. See what I'm saying? We have to figure out, we have to have some little, like that fell downward and hit the thing and then it's moving. So it's a little bit off. So we have to fix that. But then we do that and then I can get out. Do you see what I'm saying? So we have to recompactify this level. Faster solution, use a mirror to drop the first two rocks off the edge. That's true. That messes up my whole idea. Why did you break my level? All right. Well, yeah, as just pointed out, this was exploitable. Unless, right? I mean, you could contrive the geometry in some way, maybe, so that you can't do that. Like by putting a big hole in the thing. I don't want to get that contrived. Is it so bad that someone does that? Yes, because if you want your puzzle to be about something, then it's no longer about something if people have... Like, there's different kinds of games. There's a kind of game where it's like, hey, just figure out your own solution to this, and it could be anything, but that's not this kind of game. This kind of game, you want there to be an idea in the puzzle, which means it can't be exploitable by other means. Yeah, so what he was saying was, well, obviously you could just exploit it by doing this. You don't need the guy to push, right? That's actually still a little bit interesting. But it's not that interesting, and it's not that different. Like, you could have done that in 2D. I got an idea for a totally different level. So the question is there a way that I can make it so that the guy has to push these? Or is it a lost cause? I'm not really sure how I could force it. So, and sometimes if you force it by being too contrived, it's like it just ruins everything anyway. What are my thoughts on noise in puzzle design, i.e. non-essential features that the user must consciously ignore? I think in almost every puzzle it's a mistake to do that. Unless that's what it's about. Unless that's what that specific puzzle is focused on, it's a mistake, probably. What happens if you just push rocks off the edge? Well, yeah, I mean, if you could push, but you can't, man. This dude can't push. So I am not sure what is best here. You could imagine some version where the guy has to push the rocks in the direction opposite the mirror, right? But that doesn't, that's the direction we're already, we're already trying to make the hard direction. So making that the intro direction doesn't really work so well. Here's the thing also, the fact that these lily pads are moving doesn't do anything here. They could just be stationary. And in fact, that means that it could just be a 3x3 island. So this is not actually a good level for moving lily pads anyway. You know what I mean? Like this level would be better if the thing didn't move because you wouldn't have to wait for it to go around the whole time. So we don't want to do that. I mean, I kind of want to do the thing. I feel like interesting puzzles that use this would let you change the direction of the whole thing, right? With like a stone or something. Because like if you had a level, like imagine you had a level where there was a bunch of scattered lily pads all around and you had to like slowly assemble that into like at least a 2x2 so that you then could push things in all four directions. And then your friend could like push rocks to help steer it while you're on it. And then you push rocks. Like that would be pretty cool. So you know what? I think the right thing to do is to make the rest of the system more robust. Because right now we just saw how we were pushing lily pads through the things. You know, we're not handling multi-level support and stuff. So this is sort of, we didn't finish a level right now. I mean, okay, we sort of finished this level. This level is playable, but it's also exploitable. But like, I want to make the cool level where you put the raft together. Because that could be a whole sequence of stuff about like changing momentum on multi-stacks of lily pads and whatnot. Although, so we sort of decided if you push a stone into a row of lily pads, that should move the momentum of the whole thing. What if you like, you know, a stone washes by the side? Is that strong enough to push a whole row? I feel like maybe that's not. I feel like, I don't know. Like, I feel like a lot of thought is going to need to go into lily pad physics for weird situations. Just when you think you get to make a video game, sort of. But this is the good kind of that. It's like, okay, we get to go more into what the game is actually about, which is fine, as opposed to going into source control, which is not fine. Is there anything that can block a mirror beam? Yes. Lots of things can. Could you put a mirror blocking thing on a lily? Yes. You could. That already works. Well, unless we broke it. It in theory already works. Let me send a quick email to someone. Do you think this would break anything in the original? All right, so I sent that email. Seemed to be a strong fundamental philosophy that underlied the game design. Was that philosophy there at the beginning, or did it emerge later in development? Well, the basic idea of it was there in the beginning, but then I had to discover and refine that idea and understand it better as we made the game. So it was present in a basic idea at the beginning and in a much more refined idea at the end. Okay, let's do some things. I just want to clean up this code a little bit more. We can't really check this in until multi-level support is back, because until that's back, then, for example, some new levels are going to break. Like, let me go to a level that I'm sure is broken right now. Is the lily supposed to be moving even out of the water current? Yes, because it has momentum, right? So this is going to be broken. Yeah, look at that. Pathetic excuse for a level. It's terrible. Okay, so our next goal is to make sure this works. Let's see which assertion is going off here, just to make sure that I'm not really confused about it. Just trying to think about possible things you do with puzzles. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there are many things. Okay, so 1268. If it's a support move, why is it? I'm not quite sure why that is the error. So let's see what's up. See what's up. Okay. So we're asserting transaction ID. Oh, we assumed we could read it off the visual interpolation. That is not correct if it was a support move. Okay. Let me edit the file, please. All right, so we're going to say transaction ID, new transaction ID is transaction ID if that's not a thing. And it's not a support move. This is that. All right. See what happens there. I don't think we'll assert, but I don't think it'll really work right. It might work a little bit, but I don't think it will really work right. Huh? It's kind of working. He fell. Great. Okay, that, I don't know why that teleported. The fuck happened there? So we're going to have to debug something. Okay, so stuff is just teleporting when we do two interpolations in a row with support. This may not even have to do with it being a wrapping level. So we might want to make a very simple version of the level to debug this. Look at this, it's just flying. It's just flying. I think I maybe know what's going on. Maybe not. But we'll debug it. I mean, so if I'm here, these guys aren't even, oh. It's like confused about where they even are visually. Yeah, things are bad. Things are bad. Okay. We shall fix it. Yes, things are bad. But they're better than they were when we started the stream. They're not that bad. So this could have to do with wrapping, or it might not. So I sort of feel like we do this, we go this, we say, and we're just going to delete like everything because we want as little in the level to step past in the debugger as possible. So we're just going to leave that little switch. And it teleports. It teleports even if we, okay. Okay. That's a very easy repro. So it's like, so first of all, it's lagging behind, I think, because of that. It's not sorted in terms of support, like I was talking about. Although, wait, that's supposed to be mounted. Okay, hold on. The fact that this is mounted may confuse the issue. So let's put something in the level that is not, let's put this. This is a thing that is not mounted and it's just there. Same problem. Good. Same problem. Why it goes vertically, I don't know. Is that 0, 0 down there? No, it's not even 0, 0. It's like 1, 1. Bro. That is really whack. But it's not that surprising because I can fix it, it's true. It's not that surprising because this code has gone through many different ways of doing things, and I think we've finally settled on one. I mean, we'll find out. Maybe we'll get sad. But we think we've settled on one. So that's a thing. And it's only, yeah, it's only the visual position that's confused, because I have to be in the row where the thing actually is. That's so weird, dude. Is it like, are we resetting the support interpolation? So after it teleports, it like doesn't move anymore, right? Watch this. So it teleports. Oh, but that might be... even twice in the same direction. It's so weird. And then it does move. So, okay. The support interpolation is still there. We just have a weird discontinuity, dude. It's moving by exactly 1 in x every time. Like 1 is getting subtracted from its x coordinate. What would cause that? Like, I really don't know. And I reverse direction and it's still doing the same thing. Okay, when we're here, no, that's not the right row. Okay. Now it's 2 in the y coordinate every time. Like what? Okay. What if I go left? Also 2 in the y coordinate? Yeah. Yeah, this game is not coming out in 2019. Yeah, the physical position of where the object is in the right place. But it's getting messed up in terms of its visual position. And why that is, I really don't know. It's happening when we continue. So like if I just do push 1, let it stop, push 1, let it stop, it doesn't happen. All right, so when it happens is when I go push, push, and they both happen without quitting, or when I go, let's go right, left, right, left. Yeah. So there's a special if statement in the code about, oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. See, if you think about what you're trying to do to me. You better think. I already know, I've debugged it. So there's a special thing in the code that's like, you know, when you're done with your animation, with your movement, then, well, either you animate back to neutral or you start a new thing. If we're going to start a new thing, And like if the player's holding down a key, we want to make sure that their animation doesn't get stopped. So we don't reset the visual interpolation because that resets the velocity, right? And so we have this thing where we save the old velocity, right? Because we do some stuff. Let me show you. So if we restarted a new animation because we're continuing, then we set the velocity to the old velocity. Why did we have to do that? Well, because back here somewhere, we reset it, right? Now, when we reset it, reset does not set the it's called VP before frame. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's right there. So anyway, what's happening is, I'm not sure exactly how this is getting messed up, but when this logic happens, that is getting messed up. And we're not restoring it. I believe that if we restore it here, where we restore the velocity, then we'll be fine. But before I just band-aid that in, I want to make sure that I understand what the f is going on with regard to that. Let me take this out. Take this. There's just too much old code that I'm seeing. It has nothing to do with what we're thinking about. Okay. So, okay, if it's completed, blah, blah, blah. If it's completed, we add it to the completed array. When things go into the completed array, well, we don't need this if statement anymore because we don't do anything except the for loop. We save the old velocity. We also add anyone else. You know what? We should save that velocity too. That's a bug. Okay. So then when we get down here, okay, we call reset on it right here. Now I don't know. I don't know why that, I don't see this affecting VP before frame. But I know that's the problem. So maybe, so again, rather than blindly band-aiding a fix in, maybe I just want to set a breakpoint of like, pretend like I don't know that's the problem. And just observe exactly how it's happening, because Yeah. So one way that I could observe that is just say, in this routine here, the support phase routine. When we get this delta, so I imagine that's what's happening is this is getting quite large, right? So one of these is changing discontinuous. Let's just see if length delta is greater than O.9, print too big. Let's just see if that fires. Oop. Hold velocity isn't on. Where is it? Hold velocity. It's not velocity. It's velocity. All right. What did... Oh, yeah. Tourist test. Let's make that our default. Uh-oh. Why does it say it expected it? Oh, that's a hash, right? Emacs hash file. Okay, so that was a big delta. Did we catch it? Yes, too big. All right. So I just wanted to know that that was happening. So now let's set a breakpoint at the too big, and we can try to figure out why it's too big, right? Even though I kind of know why, I don't exactly know why. All right. Wrong one. There we go. Too big. Too big. So OP, VP before frame? No, it's OV. OV. It's set to 0. Well, I don't believe that that's the correct thing. So it might not even just be that we call reset on it. Okay. How do I set a breakpoint before that reset? Oh, guys. Oh, wait. No? Are we somehow running a default constructor here? Somewhere. I want to like set a data breakpoint. But oh, it's not the reset, it's the... Okay, here's what's happening. The reason we copy the velocity is because we do this add visual interpolation, which constructs a default one for which that VP before frame will be 0, right? Then we put in the stuff. Whoops. We put in the stuff. VP before frame is still 0. Yeah. Yeah. Now this old velocity thing, that needs a cleanup. Copy over the old velocity explicitly. Well, in the update and the visual interpolation loop. So do we really need this here? It's mostly for when we call add visual interpolation inadvertently. Interpolation progress. Be smarter about that? Question mark. Okay. So old velocity, right? We need like a backup visual position before frame. I'd rather not have that. But I don't know what else to do. I mean, I could put it on the entity, honestly. Like, why is it on the visual interpolation in the first place? Why don't I just put it on the entity, and then this won't affect it? All right. It was either do that or do a weird hack that would like copy it and copy it back, and like why do that if you don't have to? You know? All right. All right. And wait, we don't even need this OV then. All right. Hey, look, it didn't happen. Pixar, it didn't happen. Well, there's still a little bit of weirdness. Whoops, I won the level. Yeah, so things kind of go to the side a little bit. Sometimes. Like when I'm going around a corner. But for the most part, it's behaving the way that you want. I'm getting hungry again. Oh wait, she fell off. What happened? What? Oh, 'cause the dead body is... We have some support logic issues to deal with. I'm pushing this. Okay. These things that are mounted are not moving. But that's like not that surprising. Like I said, mounted things. I have to figure out why those are offsetting visually, but it's fine. We'll simplify the code first. There's not going to be a car in the swamp. I don't even know what that was about. We have to fix mounted things. We have to fix multi-level support. We have to do some things, but we're doing okay. We're making progress. All right. So let's make sure that before we start simplifying the code further, which I would like to do, so this level obviously is going to be broken if we test it, but let's see how many are going to be broken. Because if we broke something massive, we want to fix that before we quote unquote simplify the code maybe. Whereas if we're fine, i.e. not much more broken than before, then we can continue to clean up the code. It's a good question. What's going to happen? We're going to find out. I don't think we have the proper device because OBS sucks. This is another thing about marketing, like, this isn't a unit test. This is like a regular test. The way that everybody used to test everything before somebody started marketing that there was a thing called unit tests, which is not this at all. So, no, this is not unit tests. This is testing. This is actual testing, not unit tests. Also, ECS does not mean unity. We're using OpenGL to render right now, but that's just temporary probably. Yeah, there are lots of failures, but we expect that. Not everything's supposed to work right now. That's fine. It's a video game. We're in the middle. We're not done yet. It's fine. Does this look like a unit test? Like, in what way could this possibly be considered a unit test? Unless your unit is the entire game, then it's a unit test. Have I watched the film The Lobster? No, I don't know what that is. It's a little weird how those levels were failing. I'm not sure. We might look at those, because I'm not sure why that would happen. We'll see at the end how many levels there are. I don't remember the number.
Telling the truth can be bad news. Telling the truth can be bad news. Telling the truth can be...
Yeah, I get that you were just asking what's going on. It's just unit tests are a pet peeve of mine. I think they're a bad idea. Just like telling the truth is a bad idea, unit tests are a bad idea. So it annoys me when they get so much mind share. That's all. That's all.
Scary predicament. Telling the truth is a bitter herb. Telling the truth is a dangerous tunnel. When you get out of that tunnel, you've got bitter black life ahead. Forget herb. I never heard of a hit that had the word herb in it. Telling the truth is...
Do I have any advice with audio programming?
Telling the truth
we use direct sounds directly.
Telling the truth can be dangerous.
Messing with buffers is finicky, but it's also very well defined, so you should be able to do it. Like, unlike a lot of programming today, it's very clear what is happening in that kind of programming, so you just have to do the right thing.
Because you don't know why. Huh? Well, I'm just giving you what the idea is. Telling the truth can be dangerous business. If you don't know yourself, then you don't know why. Oh, is that brilliant? Telling the truth can be dangerous business. Honest and popular don't go hand in hand. If you admit that you can play the accordion, no one will hire you in a rock and roll band. But we can't sing our hearts out. And if we're lucky, we'll no neighbors complain.
Okay. Let's see how many levels there are. 41 fails. Whoever said 38 was close. 310 succeeded, so that's 351 levels right now. But not all the levels are in the test batch, so the game is bigger than that. So how many fails did we have last time? Let's see. We had 37 fails. So 41 fails I'm willing to accept now as not being a major disaster. Although we should look at... So this is the fail list from before. Oh, endpoint fall through test. We know that one. So these heroes levels, heroes 316 and 320, did not fail last time. So I want to know what's going on with those. Because whatever's causing that fail, those fails could easily be causing the other two that are extra. So if I just hit test, I'm not sure why, what it could have been. Let's see. I sure did futz around not knowing what I was doing on this level. Sure could have done it more easily. Let me tell you. I don't know why I bothered doing all that. But that's okay. Oh, you know, it's an undo problem. Yeah, so this is not a big problem. It's just the undo didn't go back to the same frame as it did before, because we've just shifted around when things happen. And undo is a little bit broken right now, and that is known. So I'm actually not going to worry about it. So we have some additional fails due to that, but I'm good with it. I'm good with it. Any resources on how to scale a texture for ray casting? You're re-implementing Doom. I don't understand scale a texture for ray casting. That phrase doesn't make sense to me. So my question is, what do you mean more specifically or really? Not using Wasapi. Yeah, I don't... Wasapi looks stupid to me. Like, I don't see the point of it. It's the wrong layer of abstraction, and there's no point. Like, direct sound... Non-retained mode direct sound was the correct layer of abstraction, and everything on top of that is just wankery, so I don't understand what Microsoft's doing, as usual. Back into things after a 12-year hiatus. Well, there could be more sausages in this game, it's true. There could be. There are not. I mean, you could sort of think of these as sausages right here, if that pleases you. Like, this looks kind of sausagey. Would re-recording that level fix the test? Yes, in principle, but the thing is, it would then break later if we fixed undo again. So I want to fix undo and be happy with it, and then we'll re-record these levels. Direct sound is implemented on top of Wasapi. Well, that's fine, but that just makes me annoyed. Start with a 64 pixels texture column and scale it to a column that is 100 pixels. That doesn't make sense because you don't want to scale it. What you want to know is, I mean, okay, it may be that the answer is to scale it, but what you want to know is, where does the ray coming out of your eye intersect with this wall, right? And then map that to texture coordinates. That's what you want to do. Now, once you figure out that, then you may be able to see from there how to map that into a scaling operation. But don't just go there trying to think of it as a scaling operation. Think about it as like, look, there's a ray. It hits the wall. Whatever the color the wall is at that point is what color pixel should show up on the screen. So if you figure that out, then you'll get it working, and then it may be slow, but then you'll be able to optimize it. And as you optimize it and unroll things, you'll be able to see why it becomes scaling. Well, okay. For the certain kind of cheat that Doom is, where you can't look up or down, it becomes scaling. All right? Because you can't, like, walls are always parallel to the near view plane in Doom. Like, you can't, you know, if you were to look up or down, those planes would no longer be parallel. And that's key to why you can optimize it all the way to a scale. You forgot if there are any entities in this game that take up more than one file. No, but also in the shipping game, entities don't take up one file. They are just little pieces in a binary file. Your first commercial game was launched? What is it? What is the game? Was it Super Animal Royale? No, because that launched in December. Oh, Tile. Yes, I see that. I misread. I read file. I mean, so there are cosmetic entities that could be as big as you want, but you can't interact with them. So, like, you know, this is quite large, but if you put that in a gameplay space, you'll just walk right through it, right? So we don't have to make the level out of tiny tile-sized things, which helps us make it look good. But things that have gameplay, so like these mushroomy things or whatever the hell they are, can get turned into blocks that you could push around. And so they kind of have to be 1 square each. In the final game, they won't be a bunch of repetitive same damn thing over and overs. They'll at least, you know. In fact, let me actually scramble them a little bit. I'm just rotating these. So that they look better. So then, you know, if you had different mesh variants and stuff, that would look even better. Or different plants. But the point is they have to be 1 tile each right now. Will I keep writing a new engine for each game and a new programming language? God, I hope not. I hope not. How long did it take to make this engine? I don't know, because I've been working on a lot of things at once, like making the engine, making the gameplay code, working on the language, running the company's other projects. So I can't really tell you. I didn't track it that closely. Can you apply some internal reflection, like inversing a Y? We could. We actually do that for when you get reflected by mirrors, but we don't really do that for random entities right now. I think it's better just to have more meshes than to mess around with that. Are those meshes from a free library? Nope. We have people who make them. It was the Humble Original 20-minute Metropolis. Okay. Cool. Is it a good game? I mean, I'm glad you did that instead of like going and working at DNA or whatever you were going to do. Why when I reset is the guy... Doesn't make sense. Oh, because he's charmed and we didn't have an animation for it. All right. What are my thoughts on Linux or Windows as a dev environment? Dude, I rant about that so much. Oh, here's another thing is... I don't know why that... Dude, we've already had this bug before. Let's fix this. Just when we transmute things, we have to call be stationary on the guy. Stationary with change. Although I would have thought that we'd do that. See, we theoretically do that. So does that not work? Does our be stationary not work? Oh, because we don't... Okay, so the problem is that we don't actually wait on that transaction being complete. So we have to do that. That might also affect the replays, actually. It might not strictly be an undo problem. Okay, so when we do move entity, we do wait. Yeah. There's some way in which we set the transaction ID that we're waiting on. Let's go search backward for it. Waiting on player transaction. Stop it. Stop it. So we set it in simulate. We call enact move. Okay. Oh, geez. Right. We have the problem with this whole be stationary thing. It does have to call move vanity. So here's this thing. Wait. Now I'm super confused. Okay, so this thing picks the transaction ID. Oh, we just don't pass it here. That's all. I thought it was a big problem. It's not a big problem. It's a small problem. I don't remember what level that was, but I'll try it. So if you don't use the transaction ID that we're waiting for the next turn, then we won't wait for it for the next turn. Oh, I got it right. There we go. See, I can still, do it a little fast, but I'm no longer spamming it insanely. And of course, we can adjust that timer. You think it is good, definitely has potential. Everyone who played it is want to keep playing, so that's a good sign. Well, right on. Do I like Zachtronics games? Yeah, I like most of them. Be stationary has to call move vanity. It actually doesn't have to call move vanity. I was wrong. I was wrong. That wasn't the problem. You've noticed that dark themes hurt your eyes more over time than normal themes. Well, it might be. So I'm looking at Twitch dark theme right now, and the problem is their text is very high contrast white. It's like too bright on the dark background. I think that's a mistake that people often make. But also, you shouldn't be hurting your eyes at all. So I'm answering this email about LilyPad Motion that I got a reply to. I'm explaining the thing about the rock having the power to like stop 3 lilies but not start 3 lilies. I just have a clicky keyboard. That's all. Now you have to get a job and make money again. Well, you can always work for Russia trolling on Facebook. I hear that's the hot new job. Or you can be a quote journalist, unquote, who goes on Twitter and finds somebody who's upset about something and then says that there's outrage about some issue and writes an article about that. I hear that's what journalists do now. Was paying rubles or exposure. Yeah, it's true. If you could start 3 lilies, does that mean pushing a rock forward onto 3 already moving lilies should give them slightly more momentum to shift forward a spot? No, I don't think we would ever do that. Okay, so we're in pretty good shape. So I think I'm just going to continue to clean this code up a little bit. First, we'll check it in. And then we can update movement code modifications. Needs more work. Some levels are broken, but not that many. Not that many. All right, so I'm checking that in. And I'm going to update just so that I have the latest from everybody. And then we'll continue cleaning up the code. All right, let's see. I don't see other problems. Alrighty. Should it be symmetric? Run the test. I think the test will still fail. Because I don't think that fix that I did would affect playback. Because playback doesn't hold keys down, which is what that would do, but let's try it. I bet it fails in exactly the same way. No, it didn't fail. All right, I was wrong. It succeeded. I don't exactly know why, but okay. I'll have to think about that. And looking back on Braid, do I just have a list of tiny things? Well, there's always a list of things that could be better. It's just you get to a point where those are small enough that you're very happy with the game without them. Because you'll never, again, it's like playing asteroids, but there's no size at which the asteroids ever disappear. You just keep breaking them into smaller and smaller asteroids, right? At some point, you say, look, all the asteroids are small enough. So I don't ever ship anything unless all the asteroids are small enough, right? And so I don't have regrets at all. Yeah, I might have said that the failure might have been because of the too fast transmute, but then thinking about it more, I was like, I don't really see why that would be. But apparently it was. All right, so I think I'm going to remove this code that said falling transaction hold, because I don't think anyone uses that right now, and we're going to want a kind of a thing that's like a falling transaction hold for later, but we're just going to erase the current one just to simplify things. Well, let's see. We apparently still use it. Start falling. I don't really think that that should be how it is anymore. Because we call update falling entity with 0, which means we immediately move it again. So this is kind of horseshit right now. Oops. Let's go somewhere with falling. Alt is down. So weird. Well, that worked. These levels all have falling. Alright. So let's remove the concept completely. Okay. Make sure it compiles. Commit that. Remove following transaction holds. Goodbye. Goodbye. Dude, I have 16 Twitch Prime loots for games that I don't play. All right. Well, now what? I'm almost ready to declare victory and chill. There were some things, because like I think the next thing we do next stream, or maybe off stream, I don't know, is this support phase so that things don't lag behind by a frame or miss a little bit. This support phase needs to be evaluated in the order of what things are stacked on other things. And I think we actually did that like 2 rewrites ago on stream for a different version of this that I eventually abandoned. So we just need to do that again. And it's probably pretty simple to do, but haven't done it. There was some other simplifications I wanted to do. So update guy position. This only gets called if we're linear move, right? So all this falling stuff, like falling right now is linear move. Okay, let's do this. No, I don't know. I don't know, man. So all this complexity of just doing the acceleration and whatever is pretty much what this function should be about. So this falling thing is a distraction. Although, we need to figure out, there's still some conceptual issues, like, hey, a thing is going to fall onto something else. It'll do that with arbitrary timing and end up off center. And we need to like make that work right. Or somehow, like, I guess we don't really want it to fall crookedly, but we somehow need it to maybe like slide to the center of the thing, you know, or something like that. That is a thing that we will do. Let's just make falling motion its own motion, right? This could break things horribly, but back where we did this, we're just going to say falling. All right. And this okay. If it's a linear move and it's a guy, we do that. Otherwise, well, what do we do here? I mean, I guess it's just this again. Like all this complication kind of came from the fact that yeah. All right. All right. So that is no longer true that falling is a linear move. Okay. You know what? I'm feeling good enough about all this stuff that we're going to... Is that all commented? Yeah. We're going to delete all that commented. Boom. Gone. Down to 700 lines. It's starting to make me feel better. Okay, falling. Move entity. This is an update falling entity. If it's a teleport, okay, that's a teleport. Move type is move type dot falling. Okay. Great. Who knows what's going to happen there? We need to Benny test the whole game because it could be horribly broken. Looks fine so far. All right. Well, that's all good. Let's do it. Release build. We're doing it again. Although, you know what? We're going to do an experiment. Because this is just where we're at right now. I'm trying to figure out. Aha. This might work. All right, so I'm going to go so we're going to go. No, not. What happened? I said C colon. I didn't want Premiere. What is. No. No, no. What is happening? I just wanted to open. Close! Dude, software is so bad today. Just close. Just close. Close. No, not Emacs. Jesus. All right. So we're going to go to Sokoban. Data. Sounds. And just for now, we're going to rename testing. Oh, music. I'm going to get Goldwave. And I'm going to get this testing. And I'm going to save it as run tree data music testing dot og, because that's what we load. We don't load MP3s. Wait, don't I get to set the properties? Oh, attributes. Og attributes. Save it at 192. Wait, why is that O.OQ? What? I don't understand. We're gonna do that. Whatever. Save. All right, everybody, it's all gonna be worth it. It's all gonna be worth it. Whoops. Okay, so we have a release build supposedly. Just waiting for our OG to save. Okay. Boom. Nope. Let's see what happens. And we're gonna Benny test or something. Uh-oh. Did we? Hold on. What happened? Sounds was not able to find asset testing. We saved it. Okay, what folder did it go into? Downloads. What? Did it go into downloads? Testing.org. All right. It's because I canceled and redid it. Here we go. Here we go. It's fine. It's all worth it. Dude, that was the perfect length. It ended at exactly the right time. How awesome was that? It ended exactly when the thing ended. 39 levels failed. So less than before. In fact, we can just go to our to-do and change this to 39, and we know which one's passed now because it was these two. This is good. This puts us in a good position. We still got to do this vertical beam thing. It's not that important, but we should do it. Much more important is fixing undo and other things that were the fallout of this movement change, but you know, it's starting to be good. What's the reason behind a level failing? There's lots of reasons. There's lots of reasons. But mostly the reason is because we broke things. I'm reading all the back messages that happened. Have you ever been in Ludum Dare, whatever? No. Will you be seeing a Tekla website anytime soon? I don't know. Probably not. I would like to do a better version of our website. I would like to, but just finding anyone to do web stuff who will do it at a decent quality level and isn't a butt is very difficult, apparently. You wouldn't think it's difficult, but every time we try, it's just a disaster. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Are all these levels final? No. Many of them will probably be in the game. Some of them will get revised. Some of them might get cut. And some levels are yet to be invented. How far am I into movement code change? Well, we're kind of pretty far. Like, I sort of feel like this is close to the structure that we're going to ship with now. It needs a lot more enhancements, and there are still some things that are broken, but they're not that bad. So it's working out. We just have to do it the rest of the way. And we have to see, there's still stuff that looks weird, like, you know, if something gets knocked off of being above something else, it'll like fall through it right now, visually. And we don't want that. So, but you know, that's solvable. It is solvable. Yeah, so we're good for tonight. We're good for tonight. Next time, I think we just robustify the movement code a little bit more. All right, so here we're going to rename this double underscore testing for now. And we're going to rename this testing. And we're going to commit. Movement code cleanup. So that's pretty good. I am much happier with the state of the movement code now. Not even just the major things that we did, but just then, like the thing where I just did where I factored out falling into its own thing from everything else. That's good. It'll allow us to make falling maybe more sophisticated. Maybe it'll accelerate or something a little bit. Accelerating in a kind of a turn-based way. Yeah, it'll be all good. How many levels will the finished game have? We do not know. It'll have more than it has right now. My guess would be at least 500, but I don't know. Do I frequent the orange site? I don't know what that means. Is there going to be a story? I can't say anything about the game. It is not revealed. Let's see if we can raid somebody on science and technology.
Whoa, we found...
Who is here? We're tied with Earthquake 3D. First time PC builder. Ask-elicious. With a guy dressed as Assassin's Creed. Or is that his hair? I don't know. I can't tell in that picture. Now, we haven't actually announced the game. It's just people who come here get to see it a little bit, but we'll announce it when we announce it. I just wish there was a programming channel that didn't have like watch the drug leaves grow on it and stuff. I don't see very much happening, honestly. VR game. Oh, it's those guys. People said those guys weren't that productive. We don't do web apps. 7-day roguelike, we could do that. But this guy doesn't have a camera. And maybe no mic. Otherwise, that would be fun. Get Zoe Keating to score the game, but in the style of Doom. So Zoe Keating was in a band called Rasputina, which wasn't as far from the style of Doom as you might think. Let me just say that. Let me see. Like, in fact, I think they covered some metal songs. What did they cover? I don't know. Anyway, she might not have been in the band when they did those covers anyway. Anyway, she was not in the band for that long. Vote for Schmelly Ork. We could do Lurk Zone. We haven't done Lurk Zone. I don't know what's going on in Lurk Zone. More lurking. What's my opinion on the announcement to release time window? I think these days you probably don't want to announce that much before release, but like you want to announce before release, just not that much. I don't really see anything. I mean, a 7-day roguelike is the most legit thing happening, and Lurk Zone. We've done Lurk Zone before. We've done this guy before, but not in a 7-day roguelike, so I'm tempted to do this. All right, we're going to raid. We're going to raid, and thanks everyone for coming by, and we'll see you later. See you later.